Okay, it is now March 7th, 2024. This video is a brief update video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some work trimming some of these letters down a bit. I've done some really cool stuff that I'm proud of with these letters, but recently I was doing the R video where I was reformatting the letter R for my Veritas font, and I came to the conclusion that the shape language wasn't exactly agreeing with itself. So shape language is the way lines communicate, in a sense sort of like how words communicate, but instead it's lines. Obviously words are made up of lines, like when you literally talk about the graphic representation of letters and so forth. But I think that when we talk about shape language in its purest form, we're really talking about graphic design and concepts associated with that. Graphic design is sort of a native language to me at this point in time. I'd say it's almost more native to me than English, which is kind of mind-boggling. You would say that a native language is sort of your primary language, and the reason I say that is because it's a visual language. So, some things to talk about. The goal of this is to refine the letters into a nearly final format. There are still a few more letters to draw, but as I go through the process of refining the letters that I already have, the ones that I plan on drawing actually become easier for me to conceptualize. For example, I have to do some more work on the letter U. I have a W that I still need to draw. I have an N. No, not an N, an M. So I have a W, an M, a U, and a Z, and a few others to still do. But the point of the matter is that I'm getting really close to having this, which is cool. But there are some problems. And those problems are that the shape language is in conflict with each other. So I have to harmonize the shape language. I have to make it more fluid and more joined. And I'm working on that. And it's actually going to sort of come together in the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping. So some personal updates. I just finished my master's exam, literally this last weekend. I think I did okay. It's a very difficult test because you're trying to cram in as much content in a short period of time. I'm not going to talk about the specifics because other people may end up taking the test, and I don't want to compromise the integrity of the test itself. So what I will talk about is stuff that they tell you in the test prep class. So the way the test was designed is you have to you have to answer some prompts and cite sources. And so going into it, I knew that I had to cite sources. That's what they told us at the test prep class. So I got my act together and got together a bunch of sources and thought about things that I would want to cite in order to prove my competency, my subject matter mastery. And so I had a bunch of sources on hand, and I didn't know, what would be good, what would be bad. I just picked a bunch of stuff that I thought, maybe this is useful. So I took the test. Probably spent about 20 hours writing. Had some edits done, spent some time editing it, and then put it together and sent it off. And that's that. So I was happy with it. Nothing to really say about it besides that. And now that that's done, I can kind of move on to the next thing, which is what I'm doing here. So if you look at the top of this document, it says Veritas Y-4. And what that means is this is the fourth draft of the letter Y. And this is getting really painful. I really like this letter. I like some of the things that I've done. The problem is that some of it just, I don't know. I don't know if I like some of it. I will probably end up having to do a fifth one of these because I'm thinking that I may or may not cut part of this. And the reason why is because I don't know. I don't know if it's too flamboyant or just not enough. Like I don't know. I don't know. I almost want to do like a reverse boot, like a reverse facing boot, just to like do something like that. That's not right. Let me and like cut that part off. I almost want to do that because I just feel like it's too noisy. Like let me make this a bit shit, excuse me. I just ate. Let me make this a bit better. See, I'm just kind of no, don't do that. Shit. There we go. No, that's not right. Let me do this. No. There we go. There we go. That's better. Shit. There we go. Alright, that's getting a bit better. Doop doop doo 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 doop doo 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 boop boop doop boop ba doo doo doop doo 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 doop doo 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 doop boop boop doop boop. So what I'm trying to do is work on this shape language and get it kind of ironed out. And the reason is because I want to get this to print. I'm really fucking tired of this project. I'm really fucking tired of this project. I've been doing this project since 2018. It's been 6 years, and I want this shit done. It took me 4 years to get through my master's. Fuck me. It took me 4 years to get through my master's program. And now that I'm done with that, I don't know what it is. I don't necessarily feel like I have the wind in my sails, but I do feel like now's the time to go on the attack because I'm finally done. My master's program felt a little bit like purgatory. I think anybody who's ever been in school for a particularly long period of time will tell you that school eventually feels like purgatory, especially when it's come with a certain degree of financial hardship. And I've definitely been fortunate that I didn't take on any particular debt, but I did borrow money from my parents, and there were definitely some times where it got very dicey for me. For example, right now my car is broken and I have to spend some money repairing it, and it's probably going to be something to do with the head gasket. In fact, I know that it's the head gasket. What we have to figure out is whether or not it's cracked or if it's just, blown and it can be replaced. If it's cracked, then that basically what that means is the engine casing is shit, and the engine will have to be rebuilt. If it's cracked, if it merely blew, the gasket blew, then to my knowledge, it's much easier to fix. And so, I'm now waiting on getting credentialed so I can start getting paid. And I'm going to be borrowing some more money to repair my car so I can go to work. And I've been borrowing my mom's car, and my mom has been driving my dad's car. And my dad, who has had foot surgery not so long ago, he's not driving right now because he just can't. So it kind of works out, but that's a very temporary sort of solution to the situation, and I have to really come up with something much more clearly defined than this, because right now I'm kind of fucked. So anyway, things aren't bad, but they aren't necessarily good either. It's just, the nature of the beast. You kind of have to live with what you got, and this is where I'm at, and this is what I got to work with. The advantage, though, is that I am fundamentally in a better situation than I was before. I am going to remain optimistic about my circumstances. It is always worthwhile. I will always say this. It is always worthwhile to choose to do something rather than nothing. If you have a choice between doing something or doing nothing, always choose to do something. And already, as I'm refining this, I am liking what I'm doing. This is already making way more sense to me. Like, sometimes you draw something and you're just like, I don't know, I'm just going to draw this and see where it goes. And, you know, you have to sit on it for a while and then you go, oh God, that looks like shit. It's just too noisy and loud. Some people will really like this design. What I have is a version of this, version 2, which is available to me. But I think this is actually where I'm going to go with this lower leg and this upper leg. But version 2 is intact. I'll show you version 3. I'll show you version 1. So, oh yeah, I actually overwrote it by accident. Oh geez, that sucks. That was me overwriting this. Oh, I can't believe I did that. That's dumb. I may not actually have the original then. So here, okay, yeah, here's 3. Okay, here's 3. Okay, so here's what I need to do. I need to go back to this one. I need to turn this off. And I need to save this as version 1. Yes. Okay, so this is version 1, and I'm not going to fuck with this. This is version 3, version technically 2, and then here's version 4, but it's technically version 3. I had an intermediary version is what it looks like. And then this version, okay, yeah, here we go. Doop doop doo 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 doop doo 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 doop boop boo doop boo. Right. And this is now going to be saved as version 4. Replace. Okay. And now, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to slice all of this stuff off. I like it, it just doesn't fit. I do like it. A lot of my art is just sort of a lucid dream, I would say. A lot of my art is like a very lucid sort of process, a lucid dreaming process almost, where I just like am creating and I'm not really worried about what it is I'm creating. I'm just, you know, making something for the sake of making it. And it's kind of like, well, I'll worry about it later, you know? And that's kind of my attitude with a lot of things. And I think that way particularly because it's probably the most useful thing for me to do, per se. But yeah, let's just slice those. Okay, so that can go. That can go perfect. Then what I can do is actually kind of move this because I can just kind of like recontextualize some of these shapes. Yeah, I can actually, so before I do that, I have to figure out what I'm going to do down here. Okay, you saw me twitch? That's like when my brain just goes whoop and I think too fast and I was just like I couldn't handle it. I just saw something in my mind really fast and I was like, wait, did I just see that? I apologize, that might freak you out. I don't always twitch, but sometimes when I see something visually and I'm really concentrating and thinking, it pops into my head all of a sudden. You might hear me say that and think, wow, this guy is crazy, but that's not entirely the case. So here's what I need to do. Not entirely. I am a little bit crazy. But I don't know anybody who isn't. And I don't know anyone who is interesting who wasn't a little bit crazy. So here's what I'm going to do. Shit! Actually, I am going to delete that. And then what I'm going to do is cut. Okay, here we go. Here's where I'm going to cut. Okay. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. See, this is why I twitched. I saw a bunch of stuff all at once, and like I couldn't really process it, so I just kind of blinked and twitched. Yeah, that might make you think that I'm crazy. I usually don't do that unless I'm really looking at something hard and seeing an incongruence or inconsistency. But now I'm seeing something and it's like happening in real time before me. So I'm going to get back to the point that I was trying to talk about before, which is my next steps and my plan going forward. Just finished the exams. I'm in the process of there we go. Applying for my credential. Okay, there we go. There we go. This is what I saw. I saw sections of it. I saw it in sections. And now I can save these components. So I have now completed the initial phase of my credential. I have more work to do. It is not done, but the initial phase is in fact complete. So now what happens is I have to go to the CTC and formally submit my paperwork and move forward with the actual application process for the credential itself. Okay, see what's going on here. This was one of the other things I saw. So sometimes I see things all at once. Like I said, it's kind of intense. When I do see everything at once, I have to kind of stop and think because my mind is moving faster than anything else. And I have to make sure that I can act on what it is I see. If you jump before you think, you'll make a mistake. But if you think too much, you'll hesitate. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I saw that. But it actually is the opposite direction. Yeah, I thought that was the opposite direction. That's what I saw. This has to go here. You won't understand why that's important at first. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a spine going along this contour from the outside, and that's what's going to make this sort of click together. Yep, and then it's gonna do that, and then let's just get this tighter so I can compensate for that spine. Yep, yep, yep. Thanks for watching. Visit theaciddrip.com for more content.